Hello everyone. Welcome to Passion Studies. My name is Dikshant Sharma and आज इस वीडियो में हम आपके पास लाए हैं एक बहुत ही informative talk session and interview with the former intern Sandra of MEA. जैसे कि मुझे काफी दिन से रिक्वेस्ट आ रही थी कि प्लीज एक टॉक सेशन रखिए with another intern who has interned with MEA and इसीलिए हम एक टॉक सेशन लाए हैं and I requested Sandra and I really thank you for coming on Passion Studies and taking your valuable time. So before starting, I want to introduce Sandra to all my dear passionates. Sandra is a recent graduate from MIT World Peace University with a second rank in government and administration and has augmented her academic achievements with valuable hands-on experience. She completed an internship at MEA, Ministry of External Affairs, specializing in WANA, West Asia and North Africa division. This experience has not only broadened her perspective but also solidified her commitment to becoming a distinguished foreign policy analyst in future. So I welcome Sandra on Passion Studies and I thank her for taking her valuable time. आज इस इंटरव्यू में इस टॉक सेशन में हम कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करेंगे या फिर कुछ ऐसी चीजें डिस्कस करेंगे जो कि आपको हेल्प करेगी इन योर MEA कमिंग इंटर्नशिप जर्नी. So we'll be focusing on the experiences of Sandra, that how it was at MEA and how it started and how it ended. So full journey basically we are going to discuss, as you saw in my previous video which I shared with you people. Now we are coming up with one more experience of one more learned intern of MEA of WANA division. Without wasting the time, let's start with this talk session. Sandra, the first question which I want to ask you is that how it started, like how the journey of MEA came into your life and how you got into MEA and what was the whole scenario. So please tell us about that.
I think before answering the question, thank you, Dikshant, for introducing me and welcoming me to your channel. And hi to everyone who's going to watch this. So, about MEA, I basically got to know about MEA internship a year before while I was surfing about where can I apply for internships and just to get an exposure. But I was in my second year back then, and basically MA internships is for the people who are in their third year right now, or recent graduates, or for people who are pursuing masters. So yeah, and then later when I came to my third year, my friends were applying. That's why I came to know about it. That's why I realized, oh yeah, MEA internship is there, and that was a year when I had for my final trimester. I had subjects like changing political order and everything almost related to international relations. So that's how I had a passion for it, and I thought I would just give it a try, and that's how I thought I would just try it and let it be.
Okay, so it was more of a, I would say, exploration, and you wanted that you should do something in the field of international relations. Okay, so that's very nice. Yeah, and then we'll go for the next question, Sandra. Can you tell me about the process of application filling, as every intern has to go through that crucial process of application, and that is the, I guess, most rigorous part when we apply for MEA, because like now I'm getting so many requests regarding application filling, as the last date is 14th of January 2024, and many students are not very clear about what to write, how to write, and what is the correct format of filling the application form. So can you please tell us that how you mentioned your extracurricular activities section, the projects they ask, and the SOP basically. So these three sections, can you put a light on these three things in regard with
I think
application?
I think when I applied, there were four sections, I guess. First one was for our personal information. Second one was about the documentation, and the third one was for all the activities or extracurricular stuff
Hmm.
that you've done, and the fourth one for the SOP, right? So, but I think there are a few changes that has been going on in this
Hmm.
current year right now, but I'm not really sure about it. I would urge you to go check on that. But for my SOP, basically, I remember watching a YouTube channel, and then she was a former MEA intern, and then she gave me an idea of what all should you write for the SOP. I think I've made few notes on the same. The
Hmm.
first one is like, why do you want MEA? And what is it that urged you to seek an internship in MEA?
Hmm.
And second one would be your academic background, how it aligns with all the activities, all the divisions in MEA, the
Hmm.
process and functioning, and
Hmm.
how you're interested in everything. And then your extracurricular and co-curricular activities that you've done
Hmm.
that would be aligning with your work that you would do in MEA.
Hmm.
And fourth one is your future goals. Again, the same, how it's correlated, everything. And the fifth one is it, which division you would like to work in, and also the project, if you're given that particular division, the project that you would like to work on as well. So these are the five most important things that you should have in your SOP.
Okay.
This is the structure that I followed while I was applying.
So, Sandra, like many students are asking me, like they are they are basically from different backgrounds. Like some people are from engineering, some are from medical side, and their extracurricular activities are not aligning with MEA goals and objectives, and they do not have the projects also which they have undertaken in their graduation. So, like we had that exposure, but what you will suggest to these students who don't have that much exposure in the field of international relations, as they are from different divisions or different you know course curriculums, so how they can apply more effectively and what they can write if they don't have any background in extracurriculars of or projects.
I think I would strongly suggest them to focus on their skills, like if they are really good with research or analytical skills and how they can comprehend everything. So focus more on your skills and how much knowledge you have. And a knowledge, like I said, I was fortunate enough to have a academic background of the same, but if you don't have it, you can maybe there's just few lines you can indicate showing that you have interest in it, and just few lines to show how much you have understanding of that particular division or the functioning of a MEA or anything. What basically intrigues you into getting an internship there? So
Right.
basically, focus on your knowledge and skills. That's it.
Right. So, dear passionates and viewers who are watching the interview, please take a note that you have to be very well versed or very well defined with your skills, as Sandra mentioned. And the next thing is that you have to be more and more specific to your work, whatever you want to do with the aspiring division. You should be very well acquainted with the division, the preferences which you're setting up. So, next question, Sandra, which I want to ask you is that when our application is scrutinized or when we get selected for the interview part, so interview is the next second step for our selection. Without interview, we cannot make an entry into MEA. So, can you just tell me about your experience when your interview took place and how was it? What type of questions they asked you? How many jury members were sitting, and basically everything about the interview thing and how it went and what was the duration. So please tell us about that.
Right. So my interview basically, I think I'm assuming that everyone's interview took place in an online mode.
Right.
And there were two panelists during my interview session, and as far as my knowledge, all of the panel members were joint secretaries of each division. Yeah, so my questions is mostly based on my profile and my interest. Like I said, my desired division was IOR, Indian Ocean region, and I had few questions related to the same. And the current affairs, that's something you must really focus on. Current affairs is very important. And I was also interested in China. So, and I also got a lot of related questions, follow-up questions on the same. And there was one particular question that I could not answer. It is related to WANA region, which is West Asia and North Africa. And I think the panel member suggested me WANA specifically to gain more knowledge on that region since I was lacking it. So, yeah. So basically, you have to focus on current affairs and study your profile thoroughly. You cannot just bluff in your SOP and the profile, right? Because they're going to ask you follow-up questions on the same.
Right. So, if I conclude, Sandra, so I think like the preferences which you set in the application form, which you filled in the application form, I think we don't get those divisions because with me also this happened. Like I filled for Sushma Swaraj Institute of Foreign Services, then I filled for XPD and then counterterrorism. And I didn't get any three of them, and I got ED. I think when we met at MEA, I was placed in ED, and I think same happened with you, if I'm not wrong. So I
Right.
think we should the viewers who are watching this. So please don't think that the preferences which you are going to set there, you will be definitely getting that division. MEA can give you a very good surprise that they are going to allot you a very different division which you have not even thought of, and I think it also happens that way when we answer something in the interview, and if you're not well acquainted with any division, so they put you specifically in that division. As I think, Sandra, you told that WANA, the question regarding WANA was asked and you were not aware about WANA, and I think then they gave you WANA. Am I right?
Right, right, right.
So the tip I'll suggest is that viewers, please, the aspirants, MEA interns, future interns, please try to go to each and every division on Google, study about them very thoroughly, and know about its functioning, process of working, and how it takes place globally in a ministry itself, right? So you have to be very, very thorough
Right.
about all the divisions, right? Okay. So next
Yeah.
question, Sandra, which I'm going to ask you is that uh, when you qualified the interview and I think you got the name in the merit list, then like you joined MEA. So please tell us about the experience of MEA. I think you interned for 3 months, entire 3 months, and it was a very long journey because my experience of internship was for 1 month, but you interned for 3 months, and this is the specific reason, dear viewers, that I introduced Sandra with you people because she has a very long span of internship. And please let us know that how it went. What were the, I would say, challenges, opportunities, or the project you worked upon specifically, and what were the tasks allotted to you? And how was your division? What was the functions of WANA? So that the people who want to go in WANA and who will be working for WANA, so how it works and what is the like whole structure. So please guide us about all the full experience in the JNB, Ministry of External Affairs at WANA.
So I would say on my first day, we had to go to South Block, and
Right.
that's the time when we were allotted all the divisions. And then and the next day only we headed to JNB, and that was the first time I met my director, who was in charge of me. So initially, I got basic work like the trade affairs between India and these WANA countries. So WANA countries are West Asia and North Africa. So West Asia is obviously with what's happening right now. It's a conflicted area, and even in the North African part itself, these are all very conflicted areas, right? And it's quite underdeveloped as well. So it was quite challenging, I would say, initially for me to get the data, but later I discovered like there are authentic government portals from which you can collect the data as well. And the way you put up the data, also the way you arrange them is also very, it's in a specific order, and you'll get to know how to interpret data and how to go about with analytical research and everything through this internship actually. So for me, I was fortunate enough to get not just one particular subject as in topic, but I had to work on a lot of other. I think almost I worked on 11 topics actually. But for
Oh,
others, they've been given one particular topic and then they researched about it and had various conversations with even private sector as well. And it was just one topic for like whole 3 months for others. But for me, it was just as soon as I get done with one topic, I would get a new one. So one interesting way I would suggest is one interesting topic that I got was that I had to analyze the geopolitical tensions in a particular area with respect to a particular mineral. Right,
oh,
and then this Indian businessman was planning to invest in that particular country, and so I had to tell him the geopolitical risk in that particular area so that he would be aware before starting his business. That was very intriguing, and I had so much fun with it. So, and then I also had the opportunity to orchestrate India Arab Partnership Agreement, and also had the opportunity to talk with a lot of ambassadors of different countries as well. These were, it was just golden opportunities, right? You know, to working and see how actual diplomatic connections are being held. So it was a great experience, actually.
yeah, I totally agree. And that's something, we learn, I would say, enjoy, or I would say that is something which is really priceless, because this is a lifetime opportunity. And again, we will not get that. And when an intern goes at MEA, so he or she should, acquire or learn to the fullest, basically. And that's something which prepares him for his upcoming professional career or the professional journey which he or she will embark upon. So yes, that is something which we need to consider. Next question, Sandra, is regarding how you managed your travel. So, Sandra, please focus upon the accommodation, food, and travel, like how you managed and how the interns, like who are coming from different states, like the people who are not well acquainted with Delhi, or the people like who have never visited Delhi, so how they can manage accommodation, food, and travel, and how they can have a balanced way of accommodating into a new place. So please shed light upon this.
So I think in my case, I was kind of fortunate enough to get a good place in Delhi itself because I was already interning in another think tank before MEM. So I was placed in Janpat itself, and it's basically walkable distance from MEA, and I used to walk back itself. Okay, so about the food, JNB has the best menu basically. Like it has diverse menu, and we can basically survive without tiffin, especially during noon time. JNB is the best, and we never had to depend on any other tiffin service during the noon time. And for people basically living, I think most of my other fellow interns were living in Saket, who just shifted to Delhi just in particular to this internship. So they had also taken tiffin service during the night time. So that's how we managed it. And for transportation, it is basically metro. Metro is the most convenient way. And if you are placed in JNB, the best stop where you can come is Udyog Bhavan. And if you're placed in South Block, it's Central Secretariat. Would be easy for you. So that's how my accommodation, food, and everything is going.
Right. So basically, like as Sandra told, food is not a very big thing. It is like everywhere in Delhi, the food is of different types, different cuisines you'll enjoy. So as you'll be in the central part of Delhi and JNB, so you'll find, so many outlets also outside the ministry, samosa wala and chai wala, kachaudiyan, juices, tapris. So you can enjoy all those things. And even in the MEA canteen also you'll get the lunch.
I would also like to add that while you want to try some street food outside of MEA, Beware of the monkeys. They could definitely snatch it away from you.
Yeah, I remember. I think we went outside and then we were eating ice cream, and that scene happened with us. I remember. So, yeah, very true. You rightly framed here. If you're going outside and you're eating something, be aware of the monkeys because they are definitely
Monkeys.
going to snatch it away from you. They have a very strong and vigilant eye on the food of the newcomers who are very new, and they definitely come in front of you.
Especially,
So it happened with us actually. Very true. So,
right.
so we'll move forward. And the next question, Sandra, I want to ask you is that as we know, whenever we get any opportunity to work in any organization, so we come up with many challenges also. We come with hurdles also. And it is sometimes very tough to manage the work life because there is a very, you know, gradual or a very sharp, rapid shift from a student life into a working professional life. So, what were the basic hurdles? Like, it was just a training itself, it was a learning experience, but still, everyone has some type of difficulties. So, can you just frame some of them, like any hurdle, any difficulty you face, and how you overcome? So, please focus on that thing.
Basically, in my case, I would say I joined MEA right after I completed my graduation. As in, I just gave my finals and I joined MEA, and I was waiting for the results. So that was a time. Then it was like a massive shift for me, right? From college, and I'm working with super old senior people, professionals, right, and who are in their 40s and 50s, and I was just 20. So I felt old, like old as in, no offense to anyone. I just I don't know how to phrase it in the right way. I'm just still processing it. It's like, you know, basically working there and you're working full time from morning 9 a.m. to 5:30. So work consumes most of your day, and you don't get to do the things that made you feel young, or you're not talking and interacting with people of your same age. Even though we had an intern room, I used to prefer sitting in my own division, so you get to know what are the things actually happening in division, right? What are the issues that are happening in those countries, and what are they discussing about. So I that time, that was the time I was having a kind of, we could put it, I don't know whether I can put it this way, though. It was like a quarter life crisis, right? Like
Hmm.
ME is a good opportunity for me, but at the same time I was thinking, should I go for my my future studies right now, or should I get more experience? So this was the time I was contemplating my life, to be honest.
Right.
And it was a tough time for me, actually, to be honest. Where it was quite tough. So I think I overcame that. After that, you just need to take some break. Like after this internship, I came back home. I just needed some time to process what exactly I wanted to do further, and gave me quite a bit of clarity on that. So, but MEA was a huge opportunity for me, and I think also, and specific to the work and the challenges I faced, would be data collection, because there's some lack of data, and these countries being more of third world countries, to be honest, so it was just very hard to get their data and how to do analytical research on those particular countries. That was a challenge that I faced, and it takes a lot of time. I was These were the two things, challenges that I faced. But these all comes with it. With time, you'll get to learn how to manage these challenges.
Right.
So
Very true.
yeah.
Right. So I think very well answered, Sandra. And this is something which we learn day to day life, in our day to day life, and we come with different challenges, opportunities, and this is life. And this is how we pursue, we persuade, and we come into a professional life. Because professional life is not very plain. It is with different curves, fluctuations, and we have to manage all of them very smartly, very, I would say, patiently as well. So, nextly, I want to ask you, Sandra, that as you mentioned about challenges, so with challenges, we come with learnings as well. So can you just tell me that what were the learnings after 3 months, as it was a long journey, right? And the change basically you observed in your own self. Sandra, who was just a graduate few months back, and a Sandra who turned into an intern with MEA WANA division. So, what was the shift in your thinking, learning, and holistic personality? So, please focus on that part.
I think learnings again, I would say I was extremely fortunate enough to get one of the best divisions in MEA, right? So like I'm not bragging, but I would say like the
It's
whole
true,
MEA there's a saying that WANA division is the most democratic one, or WANA division is the best division, because everyone in my division is very sweet, from the SO's office to my director's office to the deputy secretary's office to my JS. Everyone is extremely kind and nice and sweet. And it's not just that they treat me like an intern. Like usually, what I figured is that most of them, just you're an intern. Like they just give the menial work, but no, they actually concerned. They actually thought of me like an integral part of WANA division itself,
right?
and I was very lucky about it. So few learnings that I realized, or what I would say is that be consistent and honest with your work. Just put in a lot of effort and produce quality material that you're going to
Right.
submit. Be very honest with it. And and basically things will fall into place, right? If you are being honest with yourself, then people would that would reflect on your work itself, and
Hmm.
then people would get to know how much the value of it itself. So that's what, like, when it's usually a research job, people could easily plagiarize. I'm not saying like you cannot take ideas from others, but I'm just telling, try to frame it in such a way and add your own point of view itself to the work that you're going to produce. That's there. And yeah, just be honest with yourself.
Right. So, yeah, learnings are something which we discover when we work, as Sandra framed. And honesty is something which has to be maintained as a work ethic. Because if you're not honest with your own self, you are not, I would say, then going on a right path. And learning will never be a part of your life. So, dishonest being with your own self, with your own work in terms of just completing for the sake of certificate or for the sake of fulfilling, that will not work at MEA, I think, because we all were very jam packed with the work. We used to come up down director's call, and that was something that really makes us think that yeah, we are not just an intern. We used to whenever we used to enter MEA JNB, it feels like you are a diplomat itself. And I also I also want to share one thing, that when I just first time met my secretary, joint secretary, and he told me that, Dikshant, don't think that you are an intern here. Your thinking, your persona should be like an IFS officer. You should be like a diplomat, and then only that thing will reflect in your work itself. So yeah,
Right.
whenever like we go there, we should behave in such way that it should reflect in our work also.
Sorry for interrupting. I'd also like to add something that happened, an incident. So
Hmm.
in one edition, there were two intern. I mean, including me, there was another intern as well. So we both were in our director's office and we were discussing. So one time, my director said an instance where he said, "We all read. We all heard, there's a there's a fact saying sun rises in the east. I mean, we've read about it. We've heard people saying that, and it's also written in textbooks as well, right?" So he said, "But that's not the truth.
Hmm.
Sun does not rise in the east. So when you cannot just believe whatever you hear or whatever you read or whatever you see. Go beyond, analyze, understand, and then you come up with your own side of the truth."
Hmm.
So that's something he told me, and that really changed the way it helped me get a new perspective, right? And also, one more thing I would like to add is that before MEA, I was much more, I had a lot of self doubts on my work and my capability as a person. But I think after MEA, I gained so much confidence in myself that I finally kind of understood the worth of the work that I'm doing. So that's what I'll tell you. Like MEA is just to it validates your work in your position in your society itself, I would say. You are making your own mark and identity there.
True,
So
very true. Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, very rightly said, Sandra. And I think that really embarks us on a new journey of being very critically active, a critical thinker. Because today, we are living in a society where we cannot accept the things as they are. We cannot be very plain, we cannot be very passive. We have to be active, we have to be the change makers of the society. Because I think as the youth, we are the future leaders or future policy makers. And if we will not be, will not be the critical thinkers, will not be the rational thinkers, I'll say, then we'll not be able to pursue the things as they are, as it is rightly said that progress is impossible without change. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. So change is very important in everyone's life, and before changing others you need to change yourself first, and then only you can expect the change in the society, and then only you see awareness in yourself and the society. So coming on the end, before we're ending this session, the last question I want to ask Sandra is about the tips which you'll suggest for the budding or upcoming interns who are aspiring to go in MEA, that what the tips they can follow, or what suggestions you'll frame, Sandra, for them, that they should go with that, and they can make an entry in MEA, or they should no don't they should not do certain type of mistakes for their entry for MEA. So please shed light on this part.
First of all, the tip I would give is read newspaper and be in touch with. I mean, just know about the happenings around the world, know the current affairs, and study your profile basically. Just don't bluff anything about. Just study your profile because they're going to ask deeper questions on
Right.
the same. And third, I would just say be honest and just, like the interview stage, the best part is no matter how many wrong answers you give, they're looking at your personality and
Exactly.
you're looking about how confidently you're answering. And even if you don't know, have the courage to go up there and say that you don't know the
Hmm.
answer.
Hmm.
So, yeah, so it's just basically your personality and your knowledge, I would say. So, all the best to all the aspiring MA interns. Hope you crack it.
Right. So yeah, very rightly said, Sandra. And yeah, interview is not about checking or judging or validating your knowledge. It's more about knowing your persona, your personality, your way of thinking, way of responding. And I think the most important part, that why they are searching for, that why you are curious to work in MEA, why you want to work in MEA. So that's the major part they'll ask from you, and you have to give a very, I would say, real answer. As Sandra told, be honest with yourself.
So one of my close friends in MEA, I think she was doing tourism. So one question that she got in her interview was why not Ministry of Tourism and why MEA? And then she explained her reasons and well reasons. So I think these
Mm,
questions are more directed towards how you, and when your academic background is not aligning with MEA.
exactly.
Maybe that's the
Exactly.
reason why they didn't ask me.
Right, right. And this happened with me also, because I'm from sociology background, and the direct question was to me was that why not an NGO? Why not Ministry of Rural Development or Ministry of Panchayati Raj, or any aligning ministry with the Indian sector, right? The societal sector, which focuses on administration. Why international relations, Dikshant? Why foreign relations you chose? Because you're from sociology, and sociology has not a direct contact with IR. So we have to establish that connection. You have to establish that reason, and then that is going to, work there. So this was all about this talk session, the conversation with Sandra, and I hope that you people are able to get insights into the MEA world of interns, and I hope that we'll come up with more videos on MEA, and which is going to help you people and build up your career in this field. So for the time, I want to thank Sandra again for taking her time and guiding the viewers who are watching this session.
Uh, Dikshan, thank you so much for inviting me to your channel. And I had an amazing time sharing my experience. It felt like I was going back to all those memories. I had a good time there. And I hope you all clear all the interview session and all the first initial stage and second stage and everything. All the best for everyone who's applying.
I really wish all the very best for all the viewers who are watching this and who really aspire to become a part of MEA as an intern, that they should really get their dreams fulfilled. So fill your application very nicely. The ones who have filled, be prepared for your interview, be optimistic. As we told you about different tips, follow them very nicely. And this is all I'll be saying here. So, do subscribe Passion Studies, share this talk session with everyone, and like this video. Thank you so much, and all the very best.